For more on Israel's attack, we're joined by retired Colonel and Senior Advisor, CSIS, International Security Program, Mark Cancian. General, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on the show.
So by all accounts, Israel's strike against Iran seemed limited, fairly small in scope. Some, even within Israel's cabinet, said the response was, quote, weak. Do you agree? Do you think this was more of a muted response?
Oh, absolutely. The Israelis could have struck Iran very hard. They have many ways to do that. They were sending a message. There's still a lot we don't know about the strikes, but we do know that it could have been much more devastating. But they did do something, and we knew that the Israelis historically have always responded to attacks, so they were consistent with that history, and they were making a point to the Iranians that they can strike anywhere in Iran if the Iranians should try something like another strike.
With that said, do you think there's more violence to come between the two nations?
I think this crisis is now winding down, so I don't think there's going to be a follow-on. The Iranians have been very clear that they're not going to strike back, and the Israelis are making no steps to conduct another strike. But we have to keep in mind that this is not peace. The conflict between the two nations will continue through proxies. We now, unfortunately, have the precedent that both sides will strike at the other side's homeland. That's completely new. And then we have the ongoing war in Gaza, where the Iranians are backing Hamas. The Israelis, of course, are trying to suppress Hamas. Anything could happen there also. So this is not peace, but in the short term, it's not going to lead to escalation or regional conflict.
In your opinion, do you think it was a muted response by Israel because of the current war in Gaza and how it would affect hostage negotiations going forward?
I think it was a muted response, mostly because of pressure by the United States. The United States and many other countries have been quite emphatic that they did not want this to escalate. They did not want a larger war. And I think the Israelis took that to heart. There were reports that the Israelis were getting ready to launch strikes earlier, but pulled back, and that may have been in response to U.S. pressure. So I think that the U.S. played an important role in limiting this strike and having the crisis come out in a way that both sides could walk away.
Yeah, especially with President Biden saying, don't do it. So what kind of pressure is Netanyahu facing from his own people here, General, when it comes to more retaliation on Iran and, of course, the contradiction it might cause with the global agenda?
Well, then Netanyahu is facing a lot of pressure about Gaza. And although he is personally very controversial, the war against Hamas is quite popular with Israel. So that's going to continue. The Iranians continue to have their proxies, and I suspect that the Israelis are watching those proxies and will strike them if they have another opportunity, so that if another senior IDRC commander shows up in Damascus and the Israelis know about it, the Israelis will go after him. So we could get into another cycle of these strikes. Unfortunately, the Iranians are pushing the regional neighbors and are using proxies, and the Israelis are defending themselves.
Iran's president said this, quote, the tiniest act of aggression against the country would draw a response. Do you think there's a fear that both countries will go back and forth with the violence?
I think at this point the answer is no, but as I said, this is not peace. There could be another incident that ignites another round of attacks and responses. So I think everyone will be watching for that.
General, very quickly before I let you go, if the U.S. does approve additional aid for Israel, do you think that will change the growing conflict?
No, because most of that aid is actually long-term. It's about building Israeli capabilities over many years. There is some that is aimed short-term to replenish stocks. So, and this is consistent with what the United States has done with Israel for many years. Every year we provide a little over $3 billion of aid. So this is not a change, and I don't think it's going to have an effect politically on the ground.
Retired Colonel Mark Cancian, thank you so much for your time this morning, sir. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.